welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I am your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today by John Robinson, author and freelance writer of several books. I'll let you tell me about the titles of the 3 books that are in front of us.
Thank you, AC. Well, the books basically recount my 13-year history of driving every mile of every road on the Missouri highway map.
Every mile of every
mile
road.
of every road on the state highway map. If you get out a map of Missouri, I have marked every road off. And it took 13 years. After that, I had not written anything book-wise. And I was really struggling as to how to get my arms around such a disjointed effort to tell my story, because the books aren't travel guides per se. It's just some idiot driving around Missouri aimlessly to see what the next golly is around the corner. And the first book, Road Trip into America's Hidden Heart, was published about a dozen years ago.
Okay.
And out of that came Coastal Missouri. And people kind of question Coastal Missouri, but there are a lot of riverbanks that are pretty famous.
Yes.
Due in no small part to people like Mark Twain. But
Yes.
there's a lot of water in Missouri, and so I talked about that. And the last one that I have published so far is Souls Along the Road, and it's just stories about people and places and things along the road.
You call them villains, saints, and killer cuisine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, a
sounds
lot of good
interesting.
food.
Yeah, I imagine.
A lot of diners, a lot of dives. In a lot of ways, and these places, unfortunately, are disappearing.
Yeah.
You know, the reason I really kind of started this was I had a day job, several different day jobs over the 13 years. So if I had business in St. Joseph, for example, rather than take the interstates there, which is the easy way, but it's so cardboard. Everything is the same. I decided to take the back roads, and that's where I really started to discover for myself what is off the beaten path, and that's really what the stories are about.
So, John, mostly alone in the car?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife has the good sense not to drive with me on these roads, and as a matter of fact, one time we were going to a wedding down in Perry County, and she made me promise that I wasn't going to get off in the back roads, but I said, can I just take this one shortcut, because I hadn't done this particular road. I promised her we would be on time for the wedding. We were late. And
I was going to say, I can tell by the look on your face that you were not on time.
So I'm lucky to be here today. But she and my 2 daughters, they had the good sense not to travel with me.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see the conversations between them maybe together. No,
absolutely.
He's going to go off the road.
Exactly.
And you're going to take the back roads.
Right.
So, okay, here's a question for you. So I know you have a map that you have marked.
I do.
Do you use GPS? Or no? Do you just use your paper map?
She has a newer car that does have GPS.
Yes.
The car that I drove is actually a character in my books. I bought it in 1999. It's a 5-speed with roll-down windows, no GPS. The air conditioning cut out many years ago. So it's only that car and I that are comfortable with one another, but it has 313,000 miles on it. So
my goodness.
I just roll down the windows and enjoy the fresh air and use my map. Now, I enjoy GPS and I Google a lot of things in my research, but one of the things that is fun about this is that it was more or less free of electronics, if you will. Radio.
Radio still works?
Yes, the radio does work.
And that car's still running?
It's still running, 313,000 miles.
What kind of car is it?
Pontiac Sunfire. And
Not what I was expecting, by the way.
Well, the name of the car in the book is Erifnus Catenop. And people look at me and scratch their heads and say, why in the world would you name a car something like that?
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's if you look, if there's an ambulance coming up on you in the rearview mirror, and before you get out of the way, you read the word ambulance, it's spelled backwards on the front of the ambulance so that it makes sense in your rear view mirror. That's where I came up with the idea for Erifnus Catenop, which is simply Pontiac Sunfires spelled backwards. Yeah. So
Well, I will
simple.
tell you, I learn something new every day. Today, I just learned about the ambulance, looking at it in your review mirror.
In your rear view mirror, yeah.
It never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, that they would have to spell that backwards. I
But
think
it makes
that's
sense, though.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because
You want
mirror
people to-
image.
Yes.
It's, people who post photos, a lot of times they'll have something on their T-shirt, and if for some reason
It'll be
it'll be backwards,
It'll
and
be
I don't know
backwards.
how that happens. It's some kind of magic.
Yeah,
but
no, it is magic. It is magic.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to tell me, because I'm now interested in this killer cuisine. What's the most original thing you've eaten in one of these diners or dives?
Oh, wow.
Or interesting thing?
Yeah, interesting things. You don't almost have to go by category, and some of the things. Now, I'm not trying to be evasive, but I would have to go into the witness protection program if I no,
don't
but I
want
do
you to have to do that.
No, I talk about them. I talk about, for example, the best barbecue that I ever had, which is actually, Kansas City has great barbecue. Other areas around the state, St. Louis has good barbecue. The best barbecue I ever had is a place called Strawberries down in Holcomb, Missouri, which is in the Boot Heel.
Okay.
It is well off the beaten path, but it is just wonderful.
Well, John, it sounds like you were well off the beaten path a lot. Thank you so much for joining us. And if
Thank
you're in the
you.
Boot Hill, check out Strawberries for the
Yes.
best barbecue John's ever had. Thank you.
AC, thank you.